Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified. I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since. Never.
Or since?
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
So a little bit more of that on Sunday. But Dr. Jill Biden said again she hadn't seen anything since then. I mean, there are other reports about concerns about his age, but our president right now is about to turn 80. What do you make of this explanation coming out at this time? Some are saying it took too long to say something. It seems like there's always a criticism.
Well, she's got a book out, so that's why she's talking about it now. But, I mean, a lot of people, John, saw signs before. A lot of people privately.
After?
And after, certainly. Before and after. But certainly went and said, okay, we don't think he should run again. He did the job in 2020. He defeated Donald Trump. That is a historic moment for the country, for the Democratic Party. Time to step aside. A lot of that is revisionist history and 2020 being hindsight. But I think Dr. Biden may have been alone in thinking that no one had seen anything before or since.
Yeah, certainly. There were many Democrats who thought if Biden had walked away after the 2022 midterms, if he announced that he was going to not run again, because he'd had a very successful first 2 years, and Democrats did really well in those midterms. He would have really gone out on a valedictorian note. He did not. And we should note, of course, that after that debate, it took the president almost 3 more weeks before he did bow out of the race, that they tried to stay in. And John Heilman, this is an added to the list of things that Democrats right now don't want to talk about. I mean, we had the DNC autopsy last week come out and sort of again rip off the scab of 2024. Now we have this. I think I heard from a couple Democrats yesterday who have great goodwill toward the Bidens for in a life of public service, but are just like, the party needs to turn the page right now. Looking back to 2024 only hurts our efforts to turn ahead to 26 and to 28.
Yeah, Jonathan, look, you can't, on some level, you can't begrudge the First Lady from writing a book. People are entitled to do that. But I say that in the sense that you can't begrudge her, but it's not, none of this, every time the discussions about the Joe Biden phenomenon come up, it does create this agita in the party. Mm-hmm. And, your point about the autopsy is that, if you want to get a sense of how much this still is an issue within the Democratic Party, is you have to look at that autopsy and realize that, there was all the kind of controversy about was it going to come out, wasn't it going to come out, what was going to be in it, what was not going to be in it, and the one thing that was not in it was a just candid discussion about what a lot of people see as the fundamental problem with Kamala Harris's campaign, which is that it started too late because the party had a hard time moving on from Joe Biden. And so it's kind of like it's the elephant in the room. The party still hasn't really expiated or come to terms with that debate. There's still people out there, including people around Joe Biden, like Mike Donilon, who say it was a mistake. We should have kept him at the top of the ticket, and he would have beaten Donald Trump. And in so many ways, things are going so well for the Democratic Party right now. This is one of the things that continues to haunt it. And so I say, you don't blame Jill Biden for writing the book. I'm glad she's being candid, at least about what she saw in the moment. But is it helpful in the long term to the party moving past this issue or coming to terms with it? I don't see how you can say that it is helpful because the party still is kind of tied up in knots over Joe Biden and how it dealt with him and his presidency at a moment when it really mattered in 2024.
And her reaction is so different in that interview than her reaction in real time. Because all of us watched 2 years ago what Jill Biden said the following day after that debate. She said, Joe, you did so great. You answered all the questions. It was almost like condescending, but she was trying to buck him up and praise him. And in reality, her reaction, she was horrified like everybody else was. And I understand political spin, but the denialism in the Biden family and the Biden inner circle is on vivid display now when you have her 2 years later her say, of course it was terrible. I thought he was having a stroke. Well, that's not what you said, not only in the hours after, in the almost month that it took your husband to come to terms with the fact that his career was over.
She couldn't say that in real time. If he was going to continue to run, she couldn't.
But you know what she could have done?
But
But you know what she could have done privately is said, "It's time.
Right.
It's it.
Right.
It's over."
Right.
And she could have told him that the next day or the next week. It took almost a
But I
month
think
for him to
the
drop out.
Frustration, Jonathan Lemire, that everybody was stuck in the Biden circle, and I, felt this way too. That his accomplishments in the presidency were greater in number, positive accomplishments, than most presidents in the modern age in terms of what he got done. He was an effective president, and I think there was that crux, that sort of friction between all of his accomplishments and the path he was setting the country on, and then obviously the optics of aging.
Yeah,
in
I
public.
mean, no question. It's a robust set of accomplishments. His Democrats.
Compare it to what's going on today.
Yeah, of
And
course.
not
And
even-
in aid, there are many Biden
not even
aides.
close.
Biden aides very frustrated that they think his 4 years are now defined by that one moment or by the choice to run it. But the choice
That's
to
a
run
fair
again.
frustration.
Yeah, the choice to run again is something that obviously some people very close to Biden regret. Others still say no, it was the right decision. We should have forged forward. We should also just note President Biden is working on his own book
Right.
about what happened. Release date unclear if that'll be later this year or sometime next.